Hello, Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. This time we're featuring the Tier 9 British Medium Premium Tank, which comes as the new ultimate reward in the Season Pass, which has just come out for 6,000 gold. Now, before I get onto the free replays for you today, I'll just talk briefly about the tank, as it's, this is a new and it's quite a different tank. It essentially is a 4-shot auto loader with 360 alpha on the standard rounds, but the standard rounds are actually heat shells, which have 268 penetration. So it's fairly good penetration for a standard round, but it is obviously heat shells, which can be a little bit trolly when you're shooting into the side of tanks, etc. Because obviously you might, anything with spaced armor. But then on the premium rounds, it has HESH rounds with 490 alpha per shot. So that's an absolute devastating clip if you pen all your HESH rounds. But obviously it does only have 210, well, it has 210 of penetration on the HESH rounds, which is good for a HESH round. But if you're coming across sort of stuff with spaced armor or heavy armored tanks, and you're going to struggle to pen. And yeah, the highlight of the tank is its devastating interclip on the tank, which is like a 1.5 second interclip. But yeah, the downsides, which we'll come into in a video, is the aim time, etc. But yeah, that's a brief overall of the tank. I wanted to just show you in the replays, it's probably better to see. But if you wanted to know every single statistic of the tank, I recommend checking out Petty 360's video. But yeah, that's it for me blabbering on. Let's just see what the tank can do in action, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so the first replay we've got then today is on Lakeville, and I think it's actually quite a good replay to show some of the flaws of the tank, because I actually quite like this tank, if I'm honest. So I've had quite a lot of fun playing it, but it definitely does have some drawbacks. Now, one of which is it's incredibly, well, a really long reload. It's got like a 40 seconds reload, which I think they've kind of done to try and balance the fact that you've got that big HESH clip potential, or potential silly damage, but also you've got this incredibly long aim time and terrible shell velocity, all of which means when you're trying to take shots over distance, it's not very good. And then you've got a kind of combination of all the things there, of like the bad aim time when you try and shoot this IS-4, the long reload for me to get the clip out, and the fact that it's heat shells. So I'm shooting at the side of a IS-4 with heat, which you never, from that distance, it's very unlikely I'm going to pen. It's probably going to get absorbed in the space armor or in the tracks, and yeah, so you're going to have a tough time, and there's. I've kind of just wasted this clip, if you like, and I've got nothing out of it. Fortunately, I did spot the tank, and we picked up 1,000 odd assistance, which is actually surprising, because this also another drawback has as a medium tank. I think it has like 370 view range standard, so you definitely want optics on it, because that's actually the worst view range of all the Tier 9 medium tanks. So it has got very poor view range. Now we're on team destructions. I don't have to worry about being capped out, but I'm sitting here on my reload because I want to help the friendly teams in the town, because if they push them, I want to be able to get side shots and try and help them out. That's at least the plan at the moment. I spot this IS-4 again. I'm hoping I've actually got an S-Barn behind me, so there's a good chance if I keep him lit, I'm hoping he gets a shot in, and thankfully he does, and I pick up another 1,000 assistance. So we've had a decent start for the combined damage, picking up the 2,000 spot on assist. And now we've got this 50T ton coming around. We're going to go through and shots in. We get one in. Unfortunately, missed the second one. This is the problem with heat, because now you see you've got these silly buildings sort of in the way, or ruins, if you like, and that one gets absorbed and I wasn't able to get the shot in. So as far as damage goes, out of the 2 clips I've only actually penned 2 of them, which isn't fantastic, and I need to try and pull back to try and lose my spot here, because those guys in the town have side shots on me. The problem we've got, if you've noticed on the 1-2 line, we've also lost the 1-2 line. So I've got nowhere to go, and I don't want to sit there defending the 1-2 in the corner just because of that really long reload. Once I've clicked out, they will know it's okay to push me. So that's why I didn't want to sit there hugging the corner. I'm thinking you can see where a lot of the tanks goes. If I can clear out the enemy team in the town, which is what I'm trying to do here, then I could potentially push down the 4 line and just, because it's team destruction, just get distance on the enemy team, maybe get a crossfire with our friendly town, tanks in the town if we win it. That's probably my best play at this time. Well, at least that's what I'm thinking anyway. So we've got 2 of our shots here. We're looking to see if we can finish off this Wizzy 120 because as I say, I want to try and get that angle done. I'm just quickly checking what the hit points are of the enemy team, so we know what we can clip out, etc., and how many 1-shots there are. But now we've noticed this object 257, which is blocking our path to escape. So I've got to wait for my reloading. I can't push. I don't want to get spotted by this heavy tank, so I don't want him to push me while I'm on a reload, and I also don't want the enemy team who's pushing behind me to know where I am at this moment, because if they do, they could send down a 4 and get shots onto me. So I'm trying to time the reload so I can make my escape and just dump my clip into that heavy tank. I can't quite 1-shot him without one of my friendly teams getting 1 shot into him unless I high roll, but I've got to make the play. I need to make sure I pen all my shots. He's not looking. I can get into the rear of the tank. This is where the filthy interclip reload comes in. You see how quickly I can actually just dump my shots in, and that's like 1400 damage section I did there in actually no time at all. So when you are close to the your enemy team, your targets, you can if you catch someone off guard, you can really hurt them. And that's why I've quite enjoyed playing this tank, if I'm honest, especially if you do it with the HESH rounds. But like I say, it's definitely got its drawbacks, and yeah, hopefully I've sort of gone over those. I mean, really, the main drawbacks are aim time is terrible, long reload. I mean, the aim time really is terrible, so you definitely want to run the equipment to reduce that, because you want to reduce your aim time as much as you can. And the shell velocity is terrible, and obviously you have the heat as the standard rounds. So sometimes you do need sort of drawn out games to get your damage in. But yeah, I've enjoyed it anyway. So we're looking to see if we can get side shots into this E75 and see if the E75 pulls back enough for me to get shots in. But also, like I say, I've got that slow shell velocity, so I really need to make sure that it's exposed, otherwise it's going to be able to pull back and cover before my shot actually reaches the destination. And I'm not spotted yet, so because the E75 doesn't know I'm here, so I'm kind of waiting for him to make a mistake to hope that I can get my shots in. Because now we've kind of turned this game around, which wasn't looking promising, to now a much better situation for us. Unfortunately, I'm trying to get a shot into this lower plate, this E75. Not quite possible with the way it was. That one on the side of the turret should have penned, but I don't think it hit where I aimed. And we only get 1 shot out of that clip into E75, which is again not good. And then you're in this painful situation where you're on reload and you're thinking, oh, I could just clip this E75 now, but I've got to wait 40 seconds for the reload to go in. And yeah, that's when the reload's painful. If you're in a situation where you're on a reload and then you can just relocate to another location, and it kind of, you can make use of your being on that reload. But when you're in situations where you just got to wait, it can be a little bit painful at times. But there's only 2 tanks left now. The one's the S-Barn, which Death Star, which I've got to be careful of because my side armour is like 30 mil. So if he hits me in the side with the HESH, yeah, he can pen and really ruin my day. Which is a problem when you fight type 5s and stuff like that in this tank, as well as the fact that you won't be able to pen them. They can do a lot of damage with the HE shells. We're going for the cupola. Like I say, the accuracy of the tank I've got down to 0.25, but the problem is I was never actually fully aimed, so you never truly use that accuracy because it takes so long to aim in. You see, I wasn't fully aimed into the cupola of that. I was aimed in most of the way, but not fully aimed, and that's why I missed the top bar of the Death Star there. I'm reloading now. Unfortunately, I've got caught by a situation where I've hit reload the button so many times, and it's now thinks I'm spamming, which I'm not, which is kind of annoying because I really want to communicate my reload to this heavy tank so he knows when to go in. Because the heavy tank in front of me is full health, so all I need him to do now is take one shot off of that Death Star, and then we've won the game, because I can then put in my clip and we'll take out the Death Star. And thankfully he is going in. The Death Star pens him for 1,000, but it doesn't matter now because the Death Star's shot, so that he's done what we needed to do. Now we can just put our clip in, take this Death Star, which we do, and then just take the Peugeot 65. Unfortunately, that Hesh one gets absorbed into the tracks, and we don't pick up that kill. But that does bring us an end to the first replay of the video on Lakeville, and we managed to get 3 kills, just shy of 4,000 damage, and 3,000 assistance in the bottom tier game. Only the first class, but yeah, that's it for the first replay, and I'll see you in a bit for the second replay. Okay, so here we are on replay number 2. We are on Redshire. We are top tier, and it's standard battle, and we have 1 fun police in the game and 2 light tanks, I believe, on each team. So I'm actually going to push over at the start to the heavy flank, where I'll probably normally go with a heavy flank, because it does have 10 degrees of gun depression in this tank, which is nice. And also I wanted to try and get into a situation where I'm a little bit closer to the enemy team if I can, so I don't have to shoot from a distance, and then it's a lot easier to pen your shots in. On the approach, we actually do spot up this light tank in the middle, and we're just trying to get into the cover behind the bridge so we're safe. And yeah, I am obviously turning my gun where I potentially want to shoot. Now we spot this Cobra, we get 1 shot in, tracking him in place, and this is a problem here. This is what not to do. You can see how quickly I could dump the clip. You know, I dumped the clip incredibly quickly there, but I hit none of them because the aim time is so poor that it makes the gun feel derpy. So you really need to take time to aim in the shots, but I didn't, and I just went for the RMGesus, and it didn't work out for us, did it? So now we're sitting there on the reload. So we can spot this tortoise coming for us. There's another Cobra. Obviously, you're probably going to see quite a few of them in the lobbies at the time being. But we haven't been spotted ourselves. We're just looking for opportunities, for windows of shot. We don't really have a lot of support with us where we are, but we do have sort of a medium tank and TDs camping at our base, which could potentially get shots into me, you know, where I am if the enemy team rushes us. So I know I'll have to just fall back this ridge to try and bring them into the game if I can. That's why I've not pushed any further at the moment, because I just have to support this 1 TD, and I want to be able to bring our campers, you know, stuff onto the ridge to help us out if we do get rushed. We did get 2 shots into that Centurion there, so at least we've got a little bit of damage, but again we're on a reload again. Another thing I probably should mention is this tank doesn't have a lot of ammo. Like, I feel like it should carry more ammo. I've had quite, you know, I have games where I've almost run out of ammo, and I feel like eventually, you know, I will get a big game in this tank. You just need the situation to be right. I need the situation where the game doesn't. The game's not over before it's begun, if you like. This E50's absolutely just smashed and rammed that light tank, which is nice. That's a good little play by him. And yes, that's taken care of that problem. But we're now getting pushed by a tortoise and this Cobra. I'm trying to get high, so when that Cobra goes to clip our E50, I can put a clip into the Cobra. I can see that he's a 2-shot, so I was going to go for the kill. But as I did that, a second Cobra appears out of nowhere, and that's causing me a little bit of an issue. He's overpeaked to shoot the E50, so I need to punish him. I've made him fall back a little bit. I am trying to keep our E50 in the game. I've seen the 1-shot Cobra, which I'm going to take out, and then I'm going to dump my second shot into this other Cobra. He's obviously shooting Hesh rounds because he's got 1 in, but he didn't do any damage because he got absorbed in my tracks. But then he actually does pen the side of my turret with the Hesh round, and I'm guessing the Cobra is now out of ammo. But unfortunately, my buddy in the E50, I wasn't able to keep him alive. He did do well, but now I'm kind of by myself. But we spot this tortoise up again, and he gets taken out by our TD in our base. I'm trying to now spot, if I can, that other Cobra, just to see yeah, where he's gone. I think he's left on a one shot. We spotted this Centurion, well, we spotted the Centurion, get spotted in the open. We're going to try and dump the clip and see if we can take him out because he had a side angle on us. But I don't hit any of them. I shot that one just for the sake of shooting it because we're not going to save it. We're going to go on a reload. And now we're back on the reload. And yeah, which we've got that long wait again. And this is the kind of worst situation that happens in a minute. As I go on my reload, I've dumped that clip in the Sheridan. Now I'm getting pushed by UDIS, and this Dragon, full health Dragon comes out of nowhere. And then I've got a tank behind me as well, and I'm thinking, oh god, how, you know, this is the end. I can't escape this. I'm trying to make it so the Atomic can't shoot me, but I've got this UDIS coming in, rams me. In fact, my team are trying to help me out the best I can. The Atomic does get taken out, but now my one shot to this Dragon. That ammo racks helped me quite a lot because that's just slowed his ammo down. We actually double ammo racked him, I think. And now I'm just praying someone gets a shot in, and that Emil, the hero of the day, does save me there. And yeah, I don't know what just happened, but somehow I'm still alive. So yeah, we're just going to have to thank my team for keeping me in that one. But now we just got the enemy, you know, there's 4 tanks remaining, one being the Fun Police. So we're feeling a lot more confident, but we've got to be a little bit careful because obviously we are on a one shot now. But I want to try and get some more damage in this, you know, if I can. I suspect the Waffle might be full, you know, might be healthy because it's probably been, you know, got good camo, might have been at the back of the map. But now the light tank has, you know, been killed. That's going to be make it a lot easier for us. We don't have to worry about getting full sent by the light tank. We have spotted the Waffle. The Waffle is full health, so we really want to get our clip in. Now this would be the dream situation if I had the Hesh rounds in, because I could just full clip this guy out with the Hesh. Unfortunately, we missed the first shot. We get the second one in, you know, managed to get 3 out of 4 in there. So not too bad, but we now are on a long reload, so I'm guessing we're not going to get an opportunity to take these tanks out because they are both one shots now. So we're just going to wait for our team to finish them off, which the Waffle gets taken out and the artillery shortly after by the Tiger Shark. And that brings us an end for the second replay. And we managed to pick up 5,000 damage, 2 kills, 1,000 assistance, 600 block and the high caliber. So that's it for the second one, and we've got one final replay to come. Okay then, so the final replay is on Redshire again. This time it's on Team Destruction, and we've got the opposite spawn. We've got the north spawn this time. And yes, let's see what we can do. We're not going to go to the heavy flank from this spawn because the enemy team are going to get there first. So I'm going to see if I can take a side angle and just potentially get some shots in. You know, well, at least get a bit of information first, and then we can work out what we're going to do. There is one, we're top tier again. There is a couple of light tanks in, and we've got the Fun Police again, so we've got to be careful of the old Fun Police. As you can see, their light tanks play quite aggressively and push down the 8 line, and they have spotted a few tanks which will push quite aggressively from that ridge, which they can do, to be fair. That's a good position where that E50 is from this spawn, because you can get under the ridge. You're going to get quite a lot of assistance damage. A lot of my team are playing that side, so I'm hoping the enemy team push and I get side shots. We spotted this Cobra, or this light tank spotted this Cobra, and yeah, so it's a little bit awkward for me at the moment. I'm trying to be patient. I'm not going to go for shots on this light tank just because of my slow velocity. But this my light tank's gone in this AMX 30, so I'm going to help him out. This is where the awesome intercrypt reload we had there was so handy, because that light tank went in the AMX 30, and we just managed to just take him out in the blink of an eye. We've done 1,300 damage and just taking that guy out so quickly. That's why the tank can be a lot of fun. But now we're on the long reload again, which is okay because nothing's happening too quickly for me in the moment. The enemy team have kind of pushed on the 8-9 line now, so I'm going to fall back a little bit because I You can see there is tanks which are clearly at the K sort of 1-2, which I've got to be careful of. I didn't want to get spotted and then get taken out, so I'm going to move back to the second ridge where hopefully if the enemy team does push down the 8-9, I may be able to get side shots on. I'm not going to take chancy shots though in this game where that E50 is, because of my slow shell velocity. I feel like I need to keep my clip at the moment. But then we get this Malshin spotted out in the open. We get 2, 3, set them on fire, and 4, and just done 1500 damage to that poor Malshin. And yeah, that's a perfect example of when the clip works well. That Malshin just got absolutely obliterated. You know, 1500 damage in no time at all. You know, it was only lit for a tiny amount of time, and that's put us on 3000 damage. So that was a good result for us. I really would like the light tank to try and spot the 1-2 if I can, because I can clear the 1-2, but I can use the ridge in front of me and then try and work my way around and get shots into behind the enemy team, which is currently sort of, we know there's a lot of the enemy team in sort of the heavy flank in the 8, you know, the 8-9 and 9-0. We know there's quite a few down that location. We've got this Cobra in front of us. He's sort of pulled back. We get one in. That kind of ridge kind of throws me off again, and I probably shouldn't have snapshot that one, unfortunately. But then this 704 comes out. We do snapshot and get that one in, but now we need to escape because we've got that 50T shooting at me. We've got the TD aiming at me. I'm trying to get behind this rock to try and, you know, block line the sight as we make our escape. And we do actually lose the spot now, which is good. So we're hoping to try and get behind. Yeah, the plan is I want to clear the TDs, which is kind of sat at the K58, because that's the tanks which at the moment which are preventing me from just going around the back of the tanks at like the F89. Once they're dead, I'll be able to safely get behind them. Also, I don't really want to take a big shot off of the TDs camping at the back, if I can help it, like this 704. 704 does get spotted, but it just gets behind cover, and I can't clear the cover with the heat shells. The artillery gets spotted as well, so we're looking for a shot in there, but it's obviously got behind cover, and I'm expecting the artillery to die pretty soon. But then we got this 50T looking at us. Unfortunately, the artillery doesn't get shut down, which is a bit of a problem, because now obviously it has shots on to me or potentially someone else, and it was really nice to not have to worry about getting shot from the sky. But I'm in a bit of a predicament, because I'm kind of stuck with this 704 here and the medium, you know, down the sort of K1 line. I'm kind of stuck. I can't progress at the moment. I need one of these tanks to die, and then we get slapped by the piggy. Of course we do. Thankfully, it doesn't full pen. I guess we can count ourselves lucky for that. But yeah, it does take over 600 hit points off of us. This 704 is actually taken out, this light tank. The 704 then does get taken out by our 50T, which is allowing me to sort of push up. I'm kind of expecting to get shot by that medium at the moment, which was down the K1, but that's not happened. So I'm wondering if he's actually moved up down the 1-2 line. But my plan is really just to try and get behind the enemy team at the 8-9 now. This is what I wanted to do, but I couldn't do that until the TDs are here were dead. Now they are dead, it allows us to try and get behind the enemy teams. We're looking at what hit points they have. The MO3 and the 705 are both a one shot to us. I'm kind of hoping something's healthy, because obviously I'm going to catch them unaware and try and get my clip in. And this T30 is. Now I think at this stage, if you was able to have like the equipment to automatically swap your shells, it'd be really good, but they've taken that out of it, and you can't use that on this tank, which is a shame, because it'd be great if you could just automatically swap all your shells to the Hesh, and then you could just know that you're able to pen this tank with the Hesh rounds. But I'm hoping we're going to come behind them anyway and see what we can get in. We do come behind that T30s, but he's kind of just pushed around a little bit. We do get one in. I was kind of a second too late to get behind him there and just dump my clip in, but we're going to try and get behind this ridge if we can. I can't quite clip this tank out, which is a shame, so I'm going to need someone else to hit a shot. We do get one in, Well, we've got 2 shots in total now. We're going to try and get the third in. I don't really want to eat one, so I'm going to try and peekaboo. We made the Duke his shot, so we're going to then get our next shots in. And we put him on a 1 shot, but at this stage I need my friendly team to come in and help us. We're going to try and get behind his gun and see if we can just delay him getting shots into us as long as possible. Because this tank, one thing it's really good at is its turning circle. Its turning circle is really good. Its mobility, it's nice in the fact that it gets the top speed quickly, but the problem is it's only got a top speed of 40 kilometers an hour, and that can feel a little bit painful at times. Now, especially in situations like this, where I've had a decent game, I've got sort of 5,000 damage, a little bit of assistance, but I know there's 2 tanks in the game, and I just want to try and get there to get another clip in. I know the last known location of that medium tank was in the sort of K12 line, so I was going over there to spot them, but I'm also kind of thinking, what if they've done a sort of circle and rotated to the north, but it's just a guessing game at this point. You know, at least that the intel I had was it was over there at some point, but somehow he's actually managed to get all the way to, both of them have, to C8 without being detected. And now I'm thinking, why? I've just spent all this time moving over to this side, and my chances of getting the damage now, I'm thinking, they're just going to get deleted by the time I get there. But I'm going to make the effort anyway to try and get over there, because you never know. You never know. I would like to try and get those shots in. So I'd like to get 6k damage out, but we do spot this SU, and we get 1 in, which is nice. We try and get a second one in, but we don't. But we only manage to track him in place. But we do track him in place, which meant we picked up all the assistance damage, and then we got ourselves up to 1,000 track assistance. So it wasn't too bad. Thankfully. We've got that just to sort of boost the game at the end, but we're never going to get a time to kill this 50T now because of our reload and where it's located. So that's pretty much going to bring us to an end of the game and an end of the video. So let's just see how we got on. We managed to pick up 5,300 damage and 1 kill and 1,000 track assistance, picking up the high caliber. Only a 2nd class. I didn't ace it in this video, mainly because I wanted to get a video out for you quickly, so you can see the new tank. But I'm sure, I have no doubt, I'm going to get some bigger games in this tank if I play it for a little bit more, and then we'll feature some more on the tank in the channel at a later date. But yeah, hopefully at least these 3 videos sort of shows you what the tank can do. Is it worth it? I mean, I think so. Because it's a season pass. It's only really costing you 2,000 gold if you look at it that way. But yeah, it's fun tank, but it does have its flaws as well. That's probably my opinion of it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight! Hadouken!